Imagine, for a second, your absolute perfect world. A reality where every single one of your basic needs is met forever. You don't have to work to pay rent. You don't have to worry about putting food on the table. There is no disease, no war, no natural disasters, and absolutely zero predators lurking in the shadows. It is a frictionless existence, a total unbothered paradise. Humanity has been chasing this dream for thousands of years. But what if I told you that if we actually achieved it, it might be the exact thing that wipes us out? This isn't a philosophical theory. We actually know what happens when a society is handed absolute perfection. Because in 1968, a scientist built a literal utopia, locked a thriving society inside of it, and watched as paradise slowly mutated into a living nightmare. By the end of 5 years, every single resident of this utopia was dead. And the autopsy reports, they showed absolutely nothing wrong. No disease, no starvation, no poisoning. They died of a completely different kind of starvation. Welcome to Universe 25, the most terrifying psychological experiment ever conducted. To understand the horror of Universe 25, you have to understand the man who built it, an ethologist named John Calhoun. Calhoun wasn't interested in testing drugs or studying genetics. He was obsessed with one incredibly dark, specific question. What happens to a functioning society when the struggle to survive is completely removed? For 20 years, he chased this question, building 24 different miniature utopias for rats and mice. He built them in forests, in barns, in pristine laboratories. And 24 times he watched the exact same terrifying pattern unfold. Universe 25 was meant to be his masterpiece, the 25th attempt, the flawless experiment to silence any critics. Deep inside a federal research lab in Maryland, Calhoun constructed a 9-foot square megacity. It was an architectural marvel for its inhabitants. It featured walk-up apartments, stacked along the walls, connected by a network of mesh tunnels. The temperature was always perfect. The nesting material was plush and constantly restocked. Food hoppers never emptied. Water bottles never ran dry. And crucially, it was a fortress. No predators could get in. No one could escape. Calhoun calculated this megacity could comfortably house 3,800 mice. On day one, he took 8 perfect, incredibly healthy mice, 4 males, 4 females, dropped them into this utopia, and closed the lid. For the first 104 days, it was a Garden of Eden. The founders explored their massive new real estate, formed healthy social bonds, and started having families. Life was so good that the population began doubling every 55 days. But as the numbers climbed, the countdown to collapse secretly began. Day 315. The population hit 600. In a normal, wild environment, when a mouse colony gets too crowded, the math is simple. The extra mice leave. They emigrate. They venture out into the dangerous world to claim new territory and start their own colonies. But Universe 25 had no outside. There was nowhere to go. Because the society was locked in, the young males suddenly found themselves in a world where all the real estate was owned, and all the social roles were filled by older males who weren't dying off. There was no space to conquer, no role to play, and nothing left to fight for. So their psychology just snapped. Calhoun watched as these young, healthy males drifted into the center of the enclosure and simply gave up. They formed massive, listless pools of bodies on the floor. They didn't court females. They didn't defend territory. They just laid there. If another mouse walked up and bit them, they wouldn't even fight back. They would just absorb the violence, walk a few inches away, and lie back down. But while the center of the room fell into a zombified apathy, the edges of the city exploded into chaos. A different group of males reacted to the lack of purpose with hyperaggression. they became frantic, violent, and indiscriminate. They abandoned all natural courtship rituals. They began forcing their way into occupied nests, attacking dominant males, and tearing through the city like a localized hurricane of purposeless violence. Calhoun had a name for this psychological collapse. He called it the behavioral sink, and it was about to get so much worse. Because of the endless abundance, you'd think eating would be normal, right? Wrong. The psychology of the colony became so warped that mice refused to eat alone. Even with food equally distributed across the entire city, they would crowd compulsively around just a few specific feeders. An empty feeder right next to them was ignored. The biological act of eating had become a deranged social compulsion. But the darkest shift happened in the apartments. Normally, male mice fiercely defend their nests, allowing mothers to safely raise the pups. But in the chaos of the behavioral sink, the dominant males became exhausted by the constant, pointless invasions. They eventually just gave up and stopped patrolling. This forced the nursing mothers to become the defenders of the nest. The stress of fighting off invaders while trying to raise young broke their maternal instincts entirely. The mothers turned on their own. They began forcefully evicting their pups before they were weaned. They abandoned them in the chaotic mesh tunnels. Some mothers seemingly forgot which pups were theirs, while others committed acts of infanticide. In the most crowded sections of this paradise, infant mortality skyrocketed. Fewer than 1 in 20 babies survived. As Calhoun noted in his journals, the bodies of the mice were still alive, but the social fabric that made them a species was officially dead. But what about the few babies that did survive this nightmare? How do you grow up in a society that has completely lost its mind? You disconnect entirely. A new generation of mice reached adulthood having never seen normal mouse behavior. They had never seen a healthy family, never witnessed a territory being built, never seen courtship. So they simply opted out of the society altogether. Calhoun named this final generation the beautiful ones. The beautiful ones secluded themselves in the highest, most isolated apartments. They never fought. They never mated. They never played. They never engaged in a single social interaction. All they did all day long was eat, sleep, and obsessively groom themselves. Because they never fought, their fur was pristine. Physically, they looked like the most perfect, healthy specimens in the entire colony. But neurologically, functionally, they were ghosts. Their nervous systems had developed in a world where every single meaningful role was taken, so their brains just shut off the desire to participate in life. By day 560, the population of Universe 25 peaked at 2,200 mice, far below the 3,800 the city could hold. It would never go a single number higher. The final successful birth inside Universe 25 happened on day 920. After that, absolute zero. The colony simply aged. The hyperviolent mice burned out. The isolated females stayed in their towers. The beautiful ones just kept brushing their perfect fur in silence. And one by one, they died of old age. 4 years and 10 months after Calhoun shut the lid, the very last mouse drew its final breath. Extinction was complete. Calhoun wrote a profound summary of what he witnessed. He said the mice suffered 2 deaths. The first was the death of the spirit. The second was the death of the body. And the first death happened years before the physical one. When Calhoun published his findings, the public panicked. The media ran with a terrifying, sensationalized headline: "Comfort kills. Abundance destroys." The story of the beautiful ones became a massive pop culture metaphor for the decay of modern, comfortable human life. Politicians and religious leaders used Universe 25 to warn that if life gets too easy, humanity will destroy itself. But here is the massive plot twist that almost everyone misses. That wasn't Calhoun's conclusion at all. If you actually read his paper, Calhoun didn't blame comfort. He blamed something much more specific. He wrote, "If the number of individuals capable of filling meaningful roles greatly exceeds the number of roles available, only violence and disruption can follow." Let that sink in. It wasn't the unlimited food that killed them. It wasn't the temperature control. It was the eradication of purpose. When the population outgrew the supply of meaningful roles, the society imploded. The fighters had nothing to protect. The builders had nowhere to build. The young had nothing to inherit. Comfort didn't kill Universe 25. It just removed the friction that gave their lives meaning. But Calhoun was not a doomsday prepper. He wasn't a pessimist. In fact, he spent the rest of his life trying to solve the puzzle of Universe 25. He believed that humans are not mice. We have a cheat code. He called it ideational generativity. It's a complex scientific term for a uniquely human superpower, imagination. Unlike mice, when we run out of physical space or traditional roles, we have the ability to create conceptual space. We invent art. We build the internet. We explore philosophy. We write code. We create entirely new roles, new economies, and new ways to find meaning that don't require physical territory. We can invent new reasons to exist. Universe 25 is still sitting there in the history books. A perfectly engineered paradise. 8 mice. 5 years. And a total collapse caused by the death of purpose. The mice couldn't rewrite their programming. But we can. We are moving toward a future of AI, automation, and unprecedented comfort. The question isn't whether life will get easier. The question is, when the struggle for survival finally ends, what will you choose to build to keep your spirit alive?